the same as any other form of ecstasy. You just need to take your nails into something.
You're my strawberry. That's you. Yum yum.
Yo, you know who it is and what it is, the one they call Promise, and I'm live from No Studios, about to hit you off with this exclusive interview with Vincent Van Great and Amanda Huff. You already know, it's not a threat, it's a promise. Yeah, it is. V, Amanda, what it do? How y'all feeling?
What's up, bro?
Appreciate y'all taking the time out. It's an exciting time for you guys. The brand new EP, Troublemakers, is available on all streaming platforms right now. When we first talked about this was maybe about a year ago, after the Bubbler Bash.
Yeah.
I got to see both of you guys have amazing performances at that event, and you pulled me to the side after and you was like, yo, like, I'm working on this project, it's gonna be something different that nobody expects to hear from me. I'm gonna do a collaboration with Amanda, and here we are now. So let's go back for a second. How did we even get to this point? With you both being dope artists in your own right and having your own different styles and sounds, how did you guys decide to come together to work on an actual project together?
We were at the 88-9 Music Awards.
Yeah, it was 2018.
Yeah, and Amanda, so the year before that, I won Song of the Year at the awards, and me and Amanda, that's when we met each other, you know, like for the first time, you know, introduction and all that, exactly.
Right.
And then the following year at the awards, Amanda like racked up like every award that
She had a big 2018.
Right.
I remember.
Yeah, that was great.
That's when she was on my radar. I'm like,
Right.
who is this girl with this distinctive voice? Okay.
Yeah, so she racked up that night, and I remember right after she got off stage, because she did a fantastic performance there that night.
Yeah.
And I walked on stage, after she got off stage, I hugged her, and I'm like, we should do something soon.
Yeah.
Like, we should do something. She looked at me like, yeah, like, okay, like, you know, let's see. And you can elaborate.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that whole night was a blur, but when I think back to it, there's like a couple key moments that are seared just like real crispy in my mind, and one is just like this kind of like mass of people kind of swirling around, and then Vincent there saying that, you know, we should work together, and I'm already on a high, but my mind is just like, Vincent Van Great's talking to me. Like, oh yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
So then we did it.
And, and the thing about it is, you know, Vincent is a producer, a rapper, a singer. You are an amazing vocalist, and again, you guys come from different worlds. But one thing I learned about music in general is, like, if it's dope, it's dope. It doesn't matter what type of genre it is. It doesn't matter what style, what vibe. Good music, if it's sonic, you know what I'm saying? Like, it reaches across platforms. It reaches across ages, generations, races, ethnic backgrounds, and people can gravitate towards it. So I thought that it was dope that you guys were able to link up, and especially like live performance. One thing about V, in my opinion, I mean, he's one of the dopest live performers I've seen to come out of the city. And, you know,
Thank you.
No, absolutely, man. So when you do a solo or when you with Ninja Sauce, like, you bring a different element to the table, and seeing what she has done with her vibe. So once you told me I was gonna link up, I was interested, like, okay, where is this gonna go? How they gonna put this together? And now you fast forward to right now, we got the Troublemakers EP. And let's just talk about the name of the project for a second. Amanda, can you tell me where the concept came from for naming the Troublemakers?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it came from the title track, which was Troublemakers. That was the first track that we
the first track we recorded. The actual intro.
Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of what we were talking about when we were first making this album was like, oh, you know, we really are gonna cross bounds, step out of our zones, like, we're gonna stir things up, you know? I think that sort of spirit was something that we wanted to carry through to the EP name. You know, we're making an album that's a little spicy, pretty adventurous.
Yeah.
Like, Troublemakers captures that wonderful playfulness and mischief that, you know, the whole experience was.
And I was wondering, like, after listening to the project, I noticed there's, you know, certain themes on the project. There's a lot of, you know, lust, a lot of attraction, a lot of temptation, you know, like kind of those themes and vibes. So I was wondering, was it maybe like a double entendre for troublemaking? You know what I mean? Like, these scenarios in some of these songs could be stirring some trouble. You know what I'm saying? So I was just wondering, was this
absolutely.
Was this on purpose?
Yeah.
Like when y'all was working and writing these records?
For sure.
Like,
Yeah, we wanted to do something like fun and flirty and sexy. And all that stuff is like, you know, troublemaking. You're having too much fun. You know, you getting into trouble.
You're lost
you know?
in the sauce.
Right. You're flirting too much. You know, it can get you in some other trouble.
Yeah.
And then when you're being sexy, you know, that's just trouble in itself. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you guys start working on this project last year, like after I had spoke to you, or did it come together this year? Like, when did you guys initially start writing and recording and producing for the project?
2019.
2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like March, April, something like
Yep.
that.
So it's been
I
in the works
was
for a minute.
whipping beats up, and I sent Amanda the first beat. That's how it started. Like, I sent her the first beat and the hook.
Yeah.
And then like the rest, that just kind of like set the tone for what we were trying to do.
Okay.
And I'm happy it worked out that way, because the first one, it just set the whole vibe and the vibration of like how we were going to work together, and it was just a comfortable and fun experience working with her.
That's what I wanted to ask you too. Like, you know, did you guys have thought of ideas, right? Like, you're an artist on your own. Did you guys have maybe certain records or things in mind and then put the ideas together? Or did you guys, after that initial record, kind of sit down and like map out the project, you know, amongst each other?
Yeah, it was real organic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I would be just listening to it right before the studio session and everything would pour out.
Okay.
And then I'd come back the next time and Vincent had responded to whatever I put down, or vice versa. You know, a lot of what was made was right in the studio booth, in the session.
Okay.
Kind of just not trying to necessarily impose like our distinct styles, but bring whatever came naturally to it. I think that's kind of more how you find a fusion, rather than being like, this is a block for Amanda, this is a block for Vincent. It's like, no, where do you feel like it makes the most sense?
That was the thing, and we both, the good thing is we both knew and felt the vibe, so.
That's important.
Right, that's very important.
Yeah. I mean, I think anytime you collaborate with anybody, whether it's in your own field or it's in a different field, I always think that it has to be organic and it has to be natural. I think anytime you force something, even if it's a great look for you to maybe collaborate with somebody or a type of producer, I feel like when it's forced, it isn't gonna feel right, or it won't have the longevity.
Right.
Like, people might talk about it for that moment, but it's like, is this gonna really stick around? How much are we gonna really think about this later on once we get past maybe the namesake or the hoorah? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
And also, like, the elephant in the room, COVID, all the time. Like, that probably was, as far as artistically and creating, being a creative, that was probably a good thing for me and Amanda at the time, because it gave us a little more time to like dive into like concepts. And
we wanted to put that out in December 2020.
Right. We're gonna put it out a year ago. You know, like like that was the goal. Like, we're gonna finish this up, and then we were both in the studio like completing records for the project, and we're like, oh, this like it was no way what we're trying to accomplish, we're gonna get it done in that time frame and be able to like release it and present it to the world how we wanted to.
Yeah. Like, well, and let me ask you this too, like, did you guys approach, like, obviously when you're working on your own material as a solo artist, it's one way. When you're working on material, it's one way. When you're producing for other people, you have a different mind frame. So when you guys decided like, okay, we're going to do this together, what was the process as far as recording, right? Because you got down to 7 records, right, for the EP. And most artists, I know you record a lot of different things and you have to figure out where you're gonna cut it. So how did you guys walk into it with a number in mind, like, let's do this amount of records? Or was it, let's just record, we will record, and then afterwards did you guys go through and try to dissect what should or what shouldn't stay?
Well, I feel like at the gate, we knew we were gonna do like an EP kind of thing. We knew it wasn't gonna be full length.
Full length, okay.
So that kind of like, you know, lets you know right there, like, we're gonna do X amount of songs.
Yeah.
So that's how I felt about it.
And we didn't have to trim any fat or anything from this EP either.
Really?
Like, we recorded 7 songs and we put 7 songs on there. Yeah.
So wait, these are the 7 that y'all recorded for the project?
Nothing extra.
Yeah, right.
7 songs.
Word.
7 tracks on the EP.
Stop
it. No extra fat, no trimmage. Like, we
so
knew
just,
what we wanted to do.
It just felt right?
It just felt right.
That's crazy, because
it all flowed together, and sonically, it just made sense. Like,
damn, because I was wondering, like, you know, if y'all, let's just say you went in there and it was 14 records, and you like, okay, these are my favorites, or these are, and then y'all had to come together and, you know, well, I like this one, I like, and find a compromise. So you really just went in there and recorded 7 records, like, we done, that's it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say we don't have other records we recorded together.
Of course, yeah.
But we have other tunes, but for this project, we recorded 7 records, and
wow,
those are the 7 records that everyone's listening to right now.
That's crazy, dude. I got a chance to catch some of you guys' performance at Summerfest this year. You guys got to open up for Luda, which was dope.
And
I've seen you, you know, open up for a wide range of different hip hop and R&B acts over the years. But for you to be on that stage with him that night, opening up for artists like Ludacris, who to me, who doesn't get really the credit he deserves as an artist, honestly. I know
bank account.
I know he's on Fast and Furious 28, but you know, musically, I feel like he doesn't always get the credit he deserves. So for you, you know, being in a different element, what was it like for you to be there that night and to be performing with him on that platform and on that stage?
Well, no, it was absolutely surreal. I am still kind of new to playing like Summerfest and some of the bigger stages and stuff, and I'd certainly never been on that stage before. So just to walk out on it and like you have room to stand, and there are people in the crowd, and there's an important, very respected artist that, you know, I grew up listening to as a kid that's going to be coming on next, and like you kind of just soak it in. You're like, okay, well, I'm here now, and tomorrow we're gonna drop this project, and like the future is only bigger. It's kind of just like, I think you have to bask in that beautiful humility and like appreciation for a minute, because I would not have expected I would be in this space. You know, I was playing open mics for a good amount of time, and now.
Yeah. And especially like you guys said, speaking on like coming out of the pandemic, I mean, we're still in it, but things are a bit more clear than they were, you know, this time last year. I mean, this time last year, none of this was going on. So to be able to have the concept and the idea to want to do this project and then not only put it out, but get back to doing what y'all love, and that's performing, you know what I'm saying, being in front of people, and to be able to play some of those records for the first time, you know, in front of this new audience. You have obviously a fan base that rocks with you. You have a fan base that rocks with your vibe. What has it been like to commingle and to introduce your audience to her and vice versa?
Man, it's awesome because everyone thinks Amanda is brilliant. You know what I mean? Everyone, all the responses I get, and my family, my friends, fans, like how we're crossing this over right now, are like, dude, Amanda's voice is amazing. Dude, how are you and Amanda doing this? Like, I can't believe, like, so it's working with her and vice versa. It's been people like reaching out to me like, man, like, you got Amanda doing something different, and I couldn't even imagine these records if she wasn't on them. Like, what you two did together, it's like, what do Milwaukee records say? Called us peanut butter and jelly and shit. They're like peanut butter and jelly, you know, like saying the mix was just perfect, man. And I'm like so humbled and like honored by that, and like people reaching out and just the world loving this project right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, thinking that artists need to stay within their genres or their lanes or like whatever is so outdated, and especially now with like streaming platforms and singles and EPs kind of taking the rise. Like, I think we have more and more freedom to just completely step out of our like directions we're moving, try something new, meet different people, merge styles together. Like, I think it's what we need to be doing. Yeah,
and important thing for me, I'm just sick of people calling me like a rapper. You know, like that shit bothers me, like, because I feel like
it relegates you.
Yeah, it puts me in this box, and
when you have more to offer than that.
Yeah, and working with her, it's just like, not that I haven't showcased this on previous projects. Like, I got records just like this on previous projects. But for me to do this with her,
whole project.
Exactly, a whole project with this type of content with Amanda Huff, who is a artist that's in a genre on the complete opposite spectrum of what I'm doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I was younger, like everybody know I love Pharrell, and that's like a big influence for me.
Yeah.
So like when I was younger, he was producing records with Gwen Stefani and Britney Spears.
Well, he had his whole nerd project.
Yeah, the
Which is
NDRD.
completely- yeah.
NDRD is the reason I made Ninja Sauce. Like that's the reason it's a Ninja Sauce, because
Yeah.
NERD. Like I said, Pharrell will go from a Gwen Stefani record to a Jay-Z record.
Clips.
To the Clips.
Yeah.
To a Snoop Dogg record. To a Britney Spears record.
Right.
And I always wanted to be that type of producer.
Especially as a producer.
Yeah, I always wanted to be that type of producer.
Yeah.
That type of songwriter. Like, people don't know, have those songs. Pharrell wrote them too.
Yeah.
So, like, I always wanted to be that type of artist and producer that can cross genres. And I'm just thankful that she agreed to do this with me and feature on this project, because
I am thankful you asked me.
that's me showcasing this shit. Like, without her, you know, it would have been harder, but, you know, I would have got it done.
I think the other thing that makes it dope too is being in the city that we're from, right? Like, there's a ton of different talent. I tell people that all the time from Milwaukee, whether we talking about the hip hop scene, alternative, R&B, whatever. We have a ton of different talent in the city: producers, writers, graphic designers, you name it. Even when we start going into film and television, we have so much talent from the city. But the difference is, a lot of times we don't reach across the table, or there's people who aren't familiar or aware of each other at times, right? You might be doing something super dope over here. This person has no idea who you are, and vice versa. And it's like, this was dope because you guys decided to cross that, you know, like, let's just go over this threshold together. Like, you're dope in your own right, I'm doing my thing in my own right, but what if we put this together and do something different in the city? And that's what I think is dope, because on a mainstream level, we do see more people crossing, you know, genres and doing different experimental things. I mean, even right now with Anderson .Paak and with Bruno Mars, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like what they're doing, and even you can go back to when Jay-Z and Linkin Park did their project together.
My God.
So we've seen it before on a larger scale, but I don't really can recall, and I've been paying attention to, been a part of the Milwaukee music scene for a long time. I don't really remember too many times where, you know, artists from the city from different spectrums have worked together on a full-length project. So I think it's dope for you guys to usher in a new era for this wave, and to kind of give people something different to see, and maybe give them a chance to experiment more and be like, maybe I should get out of my comfort zone and do something different. Because I feel like there's other artists and people who want to try things, but sometimes people are afraid to be the first.
Yeah, don't be afraid to do that shit, period. Like, first off. And second off, I just want to let you know, like, I was a fan of hers before we even met each other.
Yeah.
Before we
Same.
even, thank you. Before we
Yep.
even met one another, I was a fan, and I'm like, Amanda is brilliant. Her voice is unique. It's solid. She's able to push it out. She performs the same way every time. You know, she's gonna give you her all. And like, I remember maybe the second or third time I seen Amanda, because the first two times I'm like, I gotta go back and see her. And then I seen her at the awards, and it's like, she was just taking my soul from me. Like, I'm just at the stage, like,
She has you in a
like,
trance.
right? And when she was done, I had to snap out of it. Like, oh, okay, I'm here.
She
like,
had you hypnotized.
yeah. So I was a fan of hers first off.
Hell yeah. I mean, likewise, just seeing you live before we even knew each other, and the way that you would command the crowd, and the way that you would just like wield your voice and your interactions and your band, it seemed like just a very cohesive unit. And I think, like, not only did we create something unique, but we allowed each other to learn from each other's
Absolutely.
strengths in these spaces. And I think, like, the things that I grew up in the scene looking up to you for your ability to do, I got to see firsthand. And that's just like the most valuable insight, is like, how does Vincent work in the studio? How does Vincent run his band? How does Vincent do all of his marketing sort of stuff? Like, what's going on in Vincent's just personal life, and how do you balance that? Those are things that, you know, you wouldn't have that perspective if you never gave yourself that opportunity to step outside of, you know, your genre or your space or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, let me parlay off of that and ask both of you, and you can answer in your own way. Vincent, what's something that you've learned from being around Amanda or working with Amanda? And Amanda, what's something that you've learned or, you know, taken from working with him?
Man, I learned so much from Amanda. Like, yeah, where do I start? Like, I learned patience for one. Like learning patience, because I'm so used to like the last few years being in my own head and like in my own space creating records and tunes.
Yeah.
So like Amanda is like learning patience on how to mold these records and how to like create something that I'm always confident in my work, but this made me like know like, okay, with this process, when you're treating it like it's your baby, like this is what can happen.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're on one accord with somebody, creating tunes, like these are all the possibilities. You know what I mean? So she taught me patience and that this is possible. And if I cross these T's and dot these I's, like we can make certain things happen.
Okay. Amanda, what about you? What did you pick up from this guy?
I think like Vincent allowed me to more comfortably immerse myself in my art. I think prior to him, I was super analytical. I had a lot of insecurities that would hold me back in instances, like if the things weren't just right. And Vincent would come in and just have this like unexplainable steez in every instance, like just leaning into the fun of the moment or whatever was coming out of him, or like not afraid to be goofy, not afraid to be like just super cool. And I don't know, I think I picked up a lot of that confidence from him.
Oh, that's the dope thing about it is it seems genuine. And when you are a fan of somebody and then you want to work with them, I think it fits better. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, just not being forced. You can admire somebody and like their work, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of artists that may appreciate or vibe with each other, but don't make records together for various reasons. So when it clicks, that's what makes it even better. It's like, I admire you, I like what you do, I think you're dope, let's do something, and then we do it and then it works well, versus, well, let's just try to force this and put this shit in a box, you know, just to say we did it. And sometimes people would do things just to say that they do them. And I'm glad that you guys really had the year and some change to actually kind of step back and retool it, because this might have been a different project had you guys put it out initially. You know, I think that time kind of helped you guys and gave you guys a better perspective, and now you have an opportunity to walk into the new year of 2022, you know, and God willing, things are open more and y'all can really get out here. So do you guys have more plans to do more joint performances together to kind of move as a collective? What's the next phase for the Troublemakers?
Our release party, like the celebration of this EP Troublemakers, is going to be October 29th.
Yep.
October 29th at the Pap's Best Place.
Dope.
So Friday night, those tickets going to be going up. So you better get them, because I think a lot of people are going to show us love and we're going to reciprocate it and like show love back when we're on stage and give it our all and give the best representation of ourselves in this project. So October 29th, Pap's Best Place.
I mean, we've only done two of the songs live, so to be able to do the full EP live and just
The
have
full
that
EP live.
experience to really soak
It's
it
gonna
in,
be
I'm
amazing.
so
With the
excited.
Halloween steez. And
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
That is coming up.
What are you gonna dress as? Are you gonna dress up in costume?
I'm probably going to be Vincent Van Drake.
I'll bring him a costume.
Superhero steez.
But okay, so you know what? Let's flip to that. So musically, it's one thing, but you know, being an artist is also your presentation. It's also your style. It's also how you dress, how you wear things. I don't think I ever seen this dude without a haircut. All right, first and foremost, this dude haircut. Kudos to the barber. Okay, this dude stay fresh. And you know, me and you, we definitely into the sneaker game. Today you got your, you know, you on your vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Vibes. See, Amanda got the red wine.
Yeah,
gotta compliment that thing.
You switched up the vibe today. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised you don't got a cigar with you.
Hey man, you know, if we weren't in those studios.
Well, cigars, you got a little
been
pipe with
fine
you.
out, you know, fine out.
But you know, I know usually you're a sneaker guy. You enjoy fresh sneakers and drip. And Amanda has her own style, and we were talking off camera about, you know, she was admiring some sneakers that I got on. I got some Air Max 97s.
Yes, sir.
And
You better get a shot of that.
Right, you better get a shot of them bad baby.
the all gold.
Amanda was liking the gold joints.
They're so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah,
but I've seen you wear like a lot of different crazy sneakers and a lot of custom things as well. And we were talking about her coming over to our world for a minute. So she's not a big sneaker person, but she has an eye. She can admire sneakers. Just like I was saying, I can admire a woman's shoe game, even though I'm not gonna rock no pumps or no wedges, but I can appreciate them.
You can rock them.
So if you guys were to flip, right? If you were to style her for maybe a photo shoot or for a video, if she was to maybe style you, what sneakers would we put Amanda in?
Oh, if Van Gray styling Amanda, she getting some bronze.
Here you go with these LeBrons.
She getting some LeBron James.
Which number though? LeBron James.
LeBron James. She might get some 18s.
Okay.
No,
I was thinking 17s.
She might get some 18s or some 17s.
Okay.
My collection's strong with both pairs. First though, so you know she getting some bronze, 1,000%.
Throwing some bronze.
Yeah.
You know what though? I could see her in some dunks.
I can see her in
I
some
could
dunks.
probably just put her in some Jordan 1s or some dunks.
I can, but if we doing the Troublemakers show, she wearing some bronze.
Okay. All right, Amanda.
Don't start
So
putting all other stuff in her bronze.
so if you could style him or give him a piece of something that's your drip, what would you do for V?
Oh man, I mean, I might get them in some platforms, honestly, just because I think everybody should wear a pair.
Ooh.
I think they change the way you walk, and I would love to just see, Vince has already got this whole swagger to him. But what if, there's bricks attached to the bottom of your feet?
I'm thinking we gotta throw him in the trench.
Throw me in the trench.
I think we gotta throw him in the trench coat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Inspector Gadget. Jones.
Man, I feel like we could throw him in the trench.
I want that trench. I love trench coats.
But see, that's what I'm saying. I feel,
Ooh, let's get matching trench coats.
Trench, yeah,
I think
okay,
that's where we meet in the
okay.
middle,
I need an
like
executive producer
Yeah.
credit. I just that might could work though. Honestly, like
They could.
trench coats are underrated, man.
they are.
Like it's
I did the
actually
trench in the new video though, with the long, yeah.
Stay tuned.
it's underrated drip, man. You definitely could pull. You know what I'm saying? But I think that might be dope, if y'all had something playful where it was a photo shoot where y'all brought each other into each other's worlds, or maybe for a video, crossing over.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
okay,
Yeah.
promise. Okay.
I mean, I'm
see you
I'm a visionary as well,
see you
I'm
thinking.
text Lily Purple.
Right. I see you think we got to call Lily Shay, get us a photo shoot going.
And speaking of the visual, what made you guys make the Strawberry Plush record? Why was that the first single? Why was that the first visual?
For me, it was just, I don't know, me and Amanda had so much fun with that record, and we laughed when we were like naming the record. Like, I wish we could explain how the name of that record came
Please
about.
do.
It's just weird. You would have to been there.
Like really,
Had to be
like
there in the
we were
moment.
always goofing about track names, but that
Right.
one
it
just
was
like
me, you, and Charlie Cooks.
Yep.
And we were cracking several jokes about strawberries.
We didn't even have those lyrics in there yet, though, because I cut my vocals for that. Then the pandemic happened, and we had decided the name before you put the lyrics in. I think you wrote the lyrics also based off of.
Yeah, see,
So
that's
your
what-
part was first, and then
Yeah.
he played off of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I
We
guess.
kind of went back and forth with
Right,
these
right.
tracks, but
Okay.
for that one, because we couldn't get back in the studio after
Yeah,
that, or at least
yeah.
I couldn't with you.
And actually, surprising thing, that was the last record we cut for the EP.
So Double Strawberry Plush was the
Double
last record.
Strawberry Push was the last record we cut for
Really?
the EP. Yep, it was, and because we couldn't get back in the lab, we
Okay.
couldn't. So that might have played a part. Why it was only 7 songs.
Yeah,
Because
that's
we
true.
couldn't even get back in the studio for an X amount of time.
Divine intervention.
Right. But yeah, that was the last record we cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last record you cut, first record you end up shooting a video
Releasing
for and
and
putting
shooting a
out.
video for it.
And the video has like if people haven't seen it yet, it's got like kind of like a retro kind of vibe to it. Almost remind me of like the Hey Ya Outkast video where,
everybody,
3 Stacks was every person in the band, the Love Below, and you were different people in the band, she's different people in the band. Let me ask you this, how many damn takes did it take for it to be, is it 3 of you? Because you're on the drums,
three
you're on the
of me.
guitar, the bass.
Yeah, and
It's
the
3 of you,
keys.
the keys.
Yeah.
How many takes to be the multiple versions of yourselves?
Did we only do like 3?
Yeah, we didn't do
We didn't do too
we
many
didn't do
takes.
too many takes.
Really?
Like I
It
said,
seemed like it
and
would've-
we recorded this in like the prime of COVID. Like when nobody knew anything.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
it was
Like-
no vaccination, it was none of that.
We still was in the
so,
dark.
Yeah, it was like we were in this space with the green screen, like
shouting at each other.
right, shouting at each other across the room, like literally, like Amanda in the dressing room in the back. We sending people to just Dima to get Amanda from the dressing room, like. We weren't even close to each other really.
Wow.
Like it was so weird. I'm like in the dressing room while Amanda's doing her shots and she's telling Demon like, go get Vincent. Like so I'm in a totally different room while she's filming. Like it was that serious and we wanted to make sure like we were safe.
Yeah.
Everybody was gonna be healthy after this.
Right.
Like cause none of this is gonna be possible if if we don't follow these rules and like make sure we're using the proper safety protocols and just staying away from each other, basically. Yeah. Me and Amanda took a picture. We were like,
that was back when everybody was like, "Do we shake hands?
Right,
Can I touch you?" Like,
right, as you're like dripping in hand sanitizer.
Like, hold on, wait a minute. Say, hey, you called
like,
one too many times.
Know what to do? Like, oh, should we? Forget it.
No,
like,
so if people were already socially awkward, the pandemic has intensified it. Like I feel bad for like the kids, like especially going into high school. High school is difficult already as a teenager. Man. So for any kids who were going into high school, coming out of it, like that gotta just be mad awkward.
Or think about a kindergartner. Think about a kindergartner who's never been to school.
Right.
Like, come to school for the first time, you gotta wear the mask.
Right.
The whole day. Like,
the whole
it's weird.
I think it levels the playing field a little bit. At least, I mean, I don't know the impact on kids just because I'm not usually around them, but. Yeah. As far as somebody who is already socially awkward, it's like now
well, that's the thing. Antisocial people or socially awkward people thrived in 2020. They was like, "Well, I hate you, motherfuckers, anyway." So, like, it worked for that group of people. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I hate people.
My granny Pearl don't go nowhere. She don't go nowhere. So while you ain't on the phone during the pandemic, I'm like, "Oh, Granny, this perfect for you. You don't go no damn where." She like, nah. Now somebody telling me I gotta stay in the house.
Right,
so I want to go somewhere now.
See, like, by choice, it's like I don't like people by choice.
Granny complex.
Well, Granny gonna move out. Listen, grandmothers have experienced and been through enough, so a pandemic ain't gonna slow down and stop nobody, especially a black grandma.
Especially Granny Pearl. That's all I'm saying.
That ain't none of that gonna stop her. So one of my favorite records on the project is it the Treats record?
Treats.
Yeah, that's one that caught me and grabbed my ear. What are you guys thinking is maybe the next visual or the next song y'all excited to release to the masses? Because obviously people hear individual records sometimes before they hear full bodies of work.
Well, I told y'all we've been working, so.
I get to.
You let them.
You got an exclusive?
Yeah. You practice that.
Yeah, he's radio DJ. That's the steez he coming with all day.
Now we got another music video that we'll be dropping sometime next month.
Yeah.
Okay.
For not for Treats, but
well, damn.
I know. Well, you know, it's still in the car.
You never know. This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
It's not like I can't work with this anymore.
Right. I'm one and done.
Yeah.
Right. I can't work with this dude.
Now we got a different music video for God Mode, and it's
the last song that's the second to the last song.
Yeah.
Second to the last song. Okay.
It's got a different vibe than Double Strawberry Plush, and I think it just really enhances that dynamic that we're playing with.
I think that record, probably out of all the songs on the project, probably is the most different sound and theme wise as well. Since you mentioned that, break down a little bit of the concept of the God Mode record and actually what you're conveying in those lyrics.
I mean, I think like I really enjoy talking about like pleasure and interpersonal mind spaces when engaging with that, and a lot of that is kind of just like when you feel untouchable and on top of the world and kind of invincible, and what that relates to when you're trying to court somebody, and you've got this whole just inflated idea of pleasure and enjoyment and the possibilities that can bring.
Yeah, just to piggyback off that, it's like just ultra confidence, like ultra braggadocious, like this is what it feels like when your confidence is at 1,000. This is what it feels like when your mind elevates to 1,000. Like that was the whole thing for me. And just courting a woman and letting her know, like, baby, I'm the best option for you. Like I'm up here, baby. Come join me up here. I'm fly. So it was, like I said, it's just a moment of just ultra confidence and ultra self-confidence at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
That self-confidence
Yes.
too is just like really having to embody these roles when we made this record too. That self-trust in that.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Troublemakers EP, it is available right now. If you haven't heard it, make sure you get it, you check it out, you sit with it, you vibe to it. God Mode video coming some point soon. And make sure you guys give out the social media as well so people can connect with you guys if they're already not following you guys.
Vincent Van Great everywhere.
Aw.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Vincent Van Great.
MySpace.
Yeah.
MySpace,
Zanga.
Black Planet.
You can find him on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Tinder.
Give me a dare, baby.
know, all that.
Give me a dare. I'm there. I'm everywhere.
Oh yeah, you can find. I got Facebook, Bandcamp. Like just search Amanda Huff. If you want to find me on Instagram, it's Hassel Huff with 3 Fs because somebody already took the 2 Fs.
And I'm trying to get her on Twitter because she a ghost on Twitter. I'm
Twitter's
not the only
so
one.
hard.
I'm
I
not the
have
only
a
one that
Twitter.
says that.
I have
she
a
does
Twitter.
have a Twitter, but she's a ghost on
You
Twitter.
know what's dope about Twitter though? I'm a kind of a creeper on Twitter. I don't like to post. I just like to. Twitter is a very underrated platform
It
of
is.
social media.
Extremely.
I enjoy just being on Twitter and just reading the threads and
Yeah.
So even if you don't like to post, just spend some time on Twitter. Twitter is
Twitter
highly
is
underrated.
Twitter to go, man.
It be going down,
Twitter
man.
to go.
I don't know if I enjoy like the interface. It's always giving me notifications of tweets I haven't read, and it's like, yeah, because they're boring. Like, give me the notification. I thought someone liked my tweet. My tweets are dumb, but you know.
But it's whatever comes to mind. You
Right.
know,
It's just
Mine's
whatever's
more
in the
just
moment.
like an archive of like dumb photos.
Twitter has you don't even have to have no explanation. Like I tweeted one day, who coined the phrase "deadbeat dad"?
See, and you don't need any reason to
I just
to post
tweeted it.
that.
I
Right.
just-
tweet. Send it off. Send
Let
it
that
off.
float
Shot
in
it
the
into
universe.
the
Right.
ether.
Let that stay
The
out
Twitterverse.
there. Right, for a little bit.
All right,
Till
you
one
know
day
what? Maybe I'll give it another
Yeah.
shot.
There you go.
We'll get Amanda Huff back on Twitter, guys.
we gonna get the hassle huff.
Right. Because, like, these publications are, like, tweeting us and shit.
Yeah.
And, like,
That's kind of funny.
mentioning her. And I'm like, she never even fucking on Twitter. Like
They're like, man, she done we're Hollywood already, man. Like, she done already. We can't even reach her. We can't even touch her. She like, I'm in Grammy mode already.
hey, she needs to stay there. Yep. Stay in Grammy mode, baby.
I'm just minding my business over here, posting pictures of food covered in gold leaf. Like,
Oh, you got
I'm
the
dreaming big, yeah.
You doing the food porn?
not even. I just think it's funny.
She can cook, though.
Oh, word.
She can
Yeah,
whip.
yeah, I love
her whip
cooking.
game strong.
Really?
The whip game in the kitchen
Yeah.
is strong.
Oh, we might have to do another Troublemakers edition cooking. You know what I'm saying? We might have to.
Right.
We might have to do another vibe.
I ain't be
Yeah.
shit but the taste tester.
Yeah, we might have to do a different
Right.
vibe when we in the kitchen and you telling us different dishes and different moves
Could
and
we just like all swap dishes? I think.
we might have, or we need to do.
Because I like to eat food.
I mean, strawberry is one of my favorite fruits, and y'all got a record. You know what I'm saying? You might could
But do the strawberry
whip
challenge.
up a whip up a
gosh.
strawberry summer salad, or it's a strawberry shortcake. You know what I mean? It's
All
some
right.
things.
So hit us on social media with the strawberry challenge. Somebody make
Yeah.
it up. Make the strawberry challenge. Yeah.
That might be
Hashtag
dope.
yum yum.
Yep. Hashtag yum yum. Strawberry challenge. Let's get it popping.
We got, hey, it could happen. It could take off. TikTok kids, where y'all at? But again, the Troublemakers EP, it is available right now. Man, Vincent Van Great, talented producer, rapper, and singer. Amanda Huff, amazing vocalist. I look forward to seeing what else you guys are going to do in the future. And I wish you guys continued and much success with everything.
Hey man, let's give you some flowers, bro.
Nah,
Yeah,
it's about
right?
y'all, man.
Nah, man, you awesome, bro, and we're super appreciative of you, like,
Thank you.
doing this with us, man, and just like the continued support of not only myself, because you told me personally you an Amanda fan now, so
Yeah.
like, just I appreciate all that and like everything you do for the community with the new state,
Appreciate it.
and you know I just shout you out, bro. Nothing
man.
but love from these ways, brother.
Man, likewise, bro. This is about y'all, man. Appreciate that, bro.
Hey man, but you my boy though, man. I appreciate you.
Love, bro. For
No
real.
doubt, man. Thank you.